Hi everyone, how are you? Greetings from beautiful Beverly Hills, California. Beverly Hills, California is basically an island in the middle of the city of Los Angeles. So picture Los Angeles, a very wide, vast area, and we're right in the middle. So today I'm heading out to meet a client for a new listing I have signed in the Brentwood Park area of Los Angeles at listing at just under 23 million. So I thought I'd do another driving tour to share the drive from Beverly Hills on Sunset Boulevard through Holmby Hills, Bel Air, and to Brentwood to give you a little feeling about these neighborhoods. And often people my followers on YouTube really love these videos. Clients, buyers, sellers, because it really gives them a framework of the neighborhood. So let's start on the tour. And I just literally left my office in the business district on Cannon Drive. And I just crossed Santa Monica Boulevard, and now we're going to start the actual driving tour of the property. So let's take a look and let's go on a little joyride, shall we? Okay, everyone, let's start our little driving tour today of, right now, the beautiful flats of Beverly Hills. So I'm here on Cannon Drive, which is where my office is located in the business district just south here of the flats. And now we're entering into the flats of Beverly Hills, which is one of the most popular areas in the city of Beverly Hills. And the flats basically are 3-4 blocks north and south from Santa Monica Boulevard. And I believe about 24-25 blocks east and west from the eastern border of Beverly Hills, which is Doheny Drive, to the western border of Beverly Hills, which is Holmby Hills on the west, and the back of the LA Country Club. So Cannon Drive can be a little bit busier than other streets because it's kind of a through street in the flats from Sunset down to the business district. Obviously covered with, not covered, but has beautiful, beautiful palm trees all around. Oh, and actually maybe you'll see when you have to come and trim these palm trees, which the city does, they have to have these huge giant cranes. Oh, we're going to see it today. To go up and trim these gorgeous, gorgeous palm trees, many of which were probably put in initially in the 1920s, early 1920s, when Beverly Hills was started and being founded. So, yep, that's what they're doing today. Looks like they're trimming the palm trees, keep everything beautiful. And interestingly enough, when you fly into LA, you'll see Beverly Hills from the plane, if you're on the right side of the plane coming in, and you'll notice a huge area that's very, very green compared to the rest of the city of Los Angeles. So Beverly Hills has got a tremendous amount of trees. Oh, by the way, there's the giant cranes they use to trim the palm trees. So we're here at the northern part of the flats, and right straight ahead is the Will Rogers Park, one of our parks in Beverly Hills. And many years ago, behind that, you can kind of see a little bit of a glimpse of the pink, is the Pink Palace, or the Beverly Hills Hotel, which I think was built in 1924. And that piece of land where the park is was originally part of the hotel. Somehow, I don't remember why, but they gave it to the city, and it's now part of the city as a park. Oh, to the left here is one of the homes that Donald Trump owned. It sold a couple years ago for, I think, just under 18 million or 22 million. And by the way, on Cannon Drive, where we were just at, you can get a house, maybe a small tear down, for around 7.5 million. The highest sales recently on those 3 blocks we just drove were, I think, 28 million was the highest for a newer construction home. So I just turned on Sunset Boulevard, heading west to Brentwood. And this is the famed Sunset Boulevard. To the left is the flats of Beverly Hills, and to the right is what we call north of Sunset in Beverly Hills. And, price ranges are kind of all over the place in these areas. The average price right now for sales is around 12 million as an average in Beverly Hills the last 6 months. And, we have lots of different kinds of properties. So this is Whittier, which is kind of the border edge of Whittier and Greenway. Greenway is a great street, by the way, it's the next street. And Whittier is also considered one of the nicest streets here in Beverly Hills. And lots and lots of beautiful homes, of course, and lots of wonderful greenery. Having done this for 37 years, I've seen so many of these homes, some of them multiple times, which is great. So when a new listing comes on the market, I'm like, oh, I know that house. I knew who owned it before, maybe before, and who built it. And that's always good to have that expertise and knowledge. And actually, I was asked a very interesting question yesterday, which I'll bring up again, about like what I bring to the table in terms of expertise and knowledge in my field. So I'll bring that up, but I want to continue this driving tour here on Sunset Boulevard. So we're still now currently in the city of Beverly Hills. And there's a wonderful little cul-de-sac right here, which has some really gorgeous homes called Copley Place. And Beverly Hills again has palm trees, pine trees, maple trees. And by the way, all these houses on the left here are still Beverly Hills, and they back up to the LA Country Club. So once we cross here, you can notice the signs now, like Ladera is now blue, which means we are leaving the city of Beverly Hills and we're now in Los Angeles in Holmby Hills. The left is a home owned by a very well-known local businessman who owns a tremendous amount of commercial properties here in Beverly Hills and LA. And oh, and by the way, just on the right side here on Carrollwood, oh, interesting, they got it closed off. That house on the right is the one that Michael Jackson passed away in, gosh, 15, 20 years ago now. Amazing how time flies. This big, beautiful estate that's being built right here, that was the home of Eva Gabor, the famous actress. It was on an acre. I tried to get my clients to buy it at the time. They didn't. They didn't like the Sunset Boulevard noise. But the guy bought it. It was a Paul Williams, which you weren't supposed to tear down. However, the buyer did tear it down legally and building a new house. That's another new construction. So we're still now in the Holmby Hills area of Los Angeles, no longer Beverly Hills. And you don't see much from the streets. Holmby Hills, in my opinion, is the premier area. You know, it's called the Platinum Triangle. Holmby Hills, Beverly Hills, and Bel Air. They're part of this wonderful triangle of homes. Another home here on the right was a French-style house that was built in the 80s, sold a couple years ago, and they are redoing the whole house. But kind of a French villa style. And again, I know you're not going to see many houses from here, but you're going to see lots of trees. So as we come up here, we're crossing Beverly Glen. So this is the border now between Holmby Hills. We're leaving Holmby Hills and we're now entering into the Bel Air area. So to the right is Bel Air. We're going to be driving by the East Gate shortly. To my left, which you can't really see, is a wonderful home. I won't give you her name, but she was one of the original Charlie's Angels. And she's still gorgeous and beautiful, and she's lived in that house for many years. There's the Bel Air sign for the East Gate as we head and continue down famed Sunset Boulevard. So here to the right side is all Bel Air, and there's the East Gate, there's the middle, which is kind of basically Stone Canyon Road, where the Hotel Bel Air is, and then to the western edge there's the West Gate of Bel Air. And over to our left here is an area called Little Holmby. Again, part of LA. Bel Air, Holmby Hills, and Little Holmby are all part of LA, and Little Holmby is actually kind of part of the Westwood area. But Little Holmby is a very specific pocket neighborhood of really gorgeous homes. It's pretty much started around 3.5 to 4 million, up to about 25 million. One of the best public school, elementary school in the city, called Warner Avenue Elementary. So a lot of parents who don't want their kids to go to private school will buy in that area so they can send their kids to Warner Avenue Elementary. And over here on the left is now the UCLA campus, which is a huge geographic campus. I don't even know how many hundreds and hundreds of billions or maybe trillions of dollars that property would be worth today. So so here we're coming up onto Stone Canyon Drive. I've done many driving tours of Stone Canyon. It's a very unique street. It's only one way up and down on Stone Canyon, and it's a very, God, what would I call it, a very country type of atmosphere. And you can see it's about 6 to 8 minutes from Beverly Hills proper, Marymount High School, private girls Catholic school. And Stone Canyon is very rustic, lots of beautiful trees. You have the Hotel Bel Air there, which is a wonderful place to stay or go to lunches and dinners. Very, very private, very serene, and just a really great spot. And I've sold a lot of houses off of Stone Canyon in that what we call the Stone Canyon area of Bel Air. So still, this is all to left the UCLA campus, which is obviously quite enormous. And as we continue here on Sunset with Bel Air, Bel Air is also a huge geographic zone. Whether you're in the Hollywood Hills East or the Hollywood Hills West, those are tremendously large geographic zones. And they essentially, all these hillside zones run from Sunset Boulevard on the south up to Mulholland Drive on the north. So they're very, very large geographically. And here in Bel Air to the right, up a few blocks, is the beginning of the Bel Air Country Club, which is a very famous and popular country club here in the LA area. The main country clubs are the Bel Air Country Club. We have also the Wilshire Country Club in Hancock Park, and we have the LA Country Club here, kind of between Holmby Hills and Beverly Hills. So, and Bel Air has many different sections and prices. The most valuable section is the East Gate Lower Bel Air. We have larger properties. However, most do not have views, but large pieces of land. And as you go up Bel Air Road, for example, you have the former Kirkby Estate, which was renamed Chartwell. It's the famous house from the Beverly Hillbillies. Oh, by the way, that's the East Gate, West Gate of Bel Air. And that's Bel Air Road where Chartwell is. That sold a couple years ago for $120 million, if I remember correctly. Truly one of the most beautiful homes in LA, built in the 1920s by a very, very rich man at the time. And from what I remember, at a cost of about $2.3 million in the 20s. Can you imagine? And it was a surprise for his wife for their anniversary. And the story goes, he brought her to a party there to surprise her. And they were pulling in the driveway. And the wife said to him, "This is the most," I think she said, "gaudy, tacky house she'd ever seen." So apparently he turned around. I guess she eventually found out he built the house for her. And they ended up selling the house to the Kirkby family, I believe for like $250,000 or something, like tremendously less than what he paid or built. Anyways, just one of the little small stories. So we're edging towards the end of Bel Air. And when we get to the 405 or San Diego Freeway, we then cross from Bel Air into the Brentwood area of Los Angeles, which is also another very large zone. And if you look at the top of the mountain there, that is the Getty Museum. It was built a number of years ago. Not the Getty Villa in Malibu, but the Getty Museum. And so here we are now crossing the border from Bel Air into Brentwood, crossing the 405 freeway. So we continue. It's about 9:50 in the morning, so traffic is not too bad. Basically, from downtown Beverly Hills to Brentwood Park, where I'm going, it's about a 25-minute drive. Now, sometimes, depending on clients, when people come to ask me where to buy, my first question is, how do you want to live? What kind of lifestyle are you looking for? Because there are so many neighborhoods and areas in LA and Beverly Hills that it's really very specific to the type of lifestyle they want. If they want to be close to schools for the kids or shopping, markets, if they want a more relaxed environment like perhaps Brentwood or Pacific Palisades, closer to the beach where it's a little bit cooler, or you want to be in Beverly Hills in the flats where they can walk to or go to the different stores and restaurants and be closer to the center of town. Everyone has different things that they like, and quite often over the years a buyer will call me and say, "Oh, I want a property in Westwood and I want a big piece of land, etc." And we start getting to know each other and go around, and I'm like, "You need to buy a 3-story house in Marina del Rey near the ocean." So luckily I was born and raised in this town, and being now 58 years old and driving since I was 16, I know every single area, every single street, every little nuance. And again, depending on price, where the kind of lifestyle they want, and the kind of feeling they want, fixing a house, building a house, buying a turnkey house, it's very easy for me to help guide them. And actually, that's one of my secret powers, is intuition. Quite often with clients, they often don't necessarily know what they want. they kind of know, but they don't really know. So my job is from a outside expert opinion without any emotional attachment to the buy itself, helping them navigate through what's going to be right for them. And it also depends on time, you know, how much time they want to be in that potential house. And we never know how long we're going to be in a house, of course, right? But it's important to know, at least in the beginning, what are the general plans. Some people come here, they just want a vacation house. Some people come here and they know they're only going to be here for a few years, so they don't really want to, you know, have a place long term. So everything is different. So now we're in Brentwood area here, both sides, and just a very lovely neighborhood. And there's a wonderful gated community here to the right in Brentwood, which is lovely homes. And prices in Brentwood are pretty much around the same par as Beverly Hills, Bel Air, and Holmby. So that gated community is called Brentwood Circle. And in LA and Beverly Hills, we don't have a tremendous amount of gated communities. There really are none in the city of Beverly Hills, but we do have in the Beverly Hills Post Office, we have Beverly Park, we have Beverly Ridge, we have in Bel Air Crest. We have a number of gated communities, and I've done other videos about that. Actually, I'm going to do another video just on the gated communities here in LA. A lot of people do like Brentwood because Brentwood has a lot of really terrific private schools. So a lot of people do like to have their kids go to one of the wonderful schools. And as we get to the kind of Brentwood Park area where my listing is, we're going to be turning north on Sunset. Brentwood Park is north of Sunset and south of Sunset. And many of you may know it, that's where O.J. Simpson lived when he had that infamous chase scene and came back to the house. It was in Brentwood Park. And after it was sold, the house was torn down and basically no longer there, and there's a whole new house. Now, Brentwood Park is considered the premier location here in Brentwood. Large pieces of property. Recently, property about 1.3 acres sold for land value at a little bit over 23 million. Listing just came on the market a block north of my property that I have listed, and it came on the market for 55 million, almost 4 acres of land. Beautiful location and all flat. I mean, really, really nice. So it's nice to have those wonderful areas and places. So we're almost going to be at Brentwood Park. And here in Brentwood, you can buy condos for $1.2 million or so to start. There are some lesser expensive ones. There are some nice multi-unit buildings to buy. It's kind of a mixed blend of different types of property, as with many of the areas here in LA and Beverly Hills and around. So, yeah, so again, traffic-wise, sometimes I know if I got to go to Brentwood maybe after 4 or 5 in the afternoon, it could take an hour or hour and 15 minutes in Beverly Hills to get here. And right now it's not so bad because it's past people's commute hour, so not so bad right now. 10 o'clock in the morning heading to Brentwood, or actually in Brentwood. And by the way, guys, these are all unscripted videos. I go from memory. I don't always remember all the details all the time. It's too much to remember. However, it's kind of good to know things from the past or present or future. So now we're heading into the little bit pricier area of Brentwood, and we're going to head shortly into Brentwood Park. Carmelina, and then we're coming up to Christophe shortly. You can see now we get to this section, you can see the houses are a little bit larger, the lots, bigger hedges. People in LA really, really like privacy, hedges. People don't want people to see what's going on inside their property. So I like hedges too. We live in a homeowners association, so we cannot have big tall hedges. However, we do have lots of greenery, so no one can really see inside. Okay, so we're gonna now head into Brentwood Park. So this is Bristol Circle. And we're gonna north on Bristol, which is a very lovely and beautiful, tranquil street. These properties are typically at least half an acre or an acre or more. Again, very green, very verdant, beautiful properties. A lot of very wealthy people that don't want the flash of Beverly Hills, want a more low-key type of living environment, do love to be here in Brentwood Park, on Bristol or off of Bristol. So the house I've listed is coming up here. It's a corner property, over 3/4 of an acre. It's a very famous house from TV, which I'm not going to show it today, but that you'll see as I put it on the market. And so anyways, just interesting property. Oops, just passed it. So I'm actually going to make a U-turn, but anyways, I think since I'm already here, I'll go in and you can just kind of see the inside of the driveway, and I'm sure will recognize it. But again, this is just me coming to meet my clients to prep for our photo and video shoot coming up sometime next week. Okay, so here we are at 251 North Bristol and Brentwood Park. So take a look and tell me if you recognize what you see. There we go. Probably recognize that. Anyways, let me pull up and head to my appointment. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed this tour. If you want more driving tours, let me know. Make some comments and let me know areas you'd like to explore and know more about. It'd be my pleasure to do some more of those down the road. Thanks, everyone. Talk to you soon.